Hello there my Jedi and Sith friends, my Mandalorians, my Megalorians, and I think I just saw a couple of Polis Massons walk in. Hello and welcome. It is I coming at you once again, your friend and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg, and today we've got some pretty interesting tidbits from around the galaxy. Our main focus, as you probably already guessed, is going to be on Ahsoka Season 2. But first, and I don't normally do this, we have an awesome update for fans of the expanded universe. Whether you call it the EU or Legends, this is a pretty big one. In their latest announcement, Hasbro has unveiled a Black Series 2-pack of two of my personal favourites, the Solo twins, Jaina and Jacen, who originate in Young Jedi Knights, but this is the new Jedi Order version of them. And I have to say the head sculpts, the likeness, very impressive, especially given how hard it is to get some of the original versions of these two. If you're looking to get the Young Jedi Knights versions from 2010, you're gonna pay about $200 a piece. And as I've seen a couple of other people suggest, they should also do Anakin Solo, the younger brother of the twins. And it just goes to show you that despite the fact Disney and Lucasfilm pretty much ignore most of the expanded universe, there is still demand for it. They have brought in a few characters and planets here and there, but usually they just slap a new cover on some of the old books and resell it to us. They might just be milking it. There is an argument to be made they're just profiting off our nostalgia. But you know what? We've been waiting a long time for new versions of some of these figures, so I see it as a win. And one final thing before we move on to Ahsoka Season 2. A question I saw making the rounds on Twitter the other day is, should Lucasfilm consider making more expanded universe stories in 2026? Continue the Legends continuity, bring in some of the older authors, some fresh new ones, or should they make a new expanded universe? A separate continuity to the one that ends in the sequel trilogy. I really doubt Disney would want to do that, especially with the new Lucasfilm manifesto that Jeff Snyder revealed. It seems like Lucasfilm wants one coherent timeline, nothing that diverts, nothing that is separate. And you might say, well, instead of making new expanded universe stories, just adapt the ones that already exist. It could work with some books like Darth Plagueis, some of the Old Republic content, but when you're talking about post-episode 6, you can only adapt so much, because there are already some core differences and contradictions. But I want to ask you guys, should they do it? Is it possible for them to do it? And if so, what kinds of stories would you want to see be adapted? But now on to our main topic, Ahsoka Season 2. We've got a few exciting tidbits, and we're going to begin with the Chosen One himself, Hayden Christensen. At the end of his panel at SpaceCon Antonio, he hyped up the return of Anakin in Ahsoka's second season. Now here's the thing, we already know from various scoops and reports that Anakin is back, but his role in Ahsoka Season 2 is not what you think. It's reportedly going to be an evolution from his appearance in Season 1. Something which I've been told is that he will have more conversations with Ahsoka, but not in the world between worlds, as a Force ghost, just like at the end of Return of the Jedi and Ahsoka's first season. We're getting Mentor Anakin, someone who is no doubt going to help Ahsoka and Sabine in their quest, but is also going to explain to Ahsoka her wider importance in the context of the living and cosmic force. I think you know where I'm going with this, and I wonder if it's in those moments that we're going to see the rumoured flashbacks to Mortis. I think Ahsoka's going to try and figure out how Peridea is linked to Mortis. So those flashbacks are going to be very different to what we saw in the first season, where flashbacks were part of Anakin's test in the world between worlds. Anakin made Ahsoka face her biggest fears. He glitched in and out of being Darth Vader, but when Ahsoka chose to live, that's when she was reborn. And now that she herself has gone through massive changes, Anakin realizes Ahsoka is ready to face her destiny, to become the daughter. And I wonder if he's going to train her to become a Force ghost. Is that even going to be necessary? And I have to admit, this does feed into the notion that Dave Filoni wants Ahsoka to be immortal, and I think he might have found a way to do that. And a new hint which points towards this is a leaked bit of artwork shared by a good friend, Morai Messenger. So there are definitive plans to bring in the Mortis gods, which makes a lot of sense given the statue on Peridea of the father, the brother, and the daughter's head, which was removed. Because all three original deities are now deceased, they need a replacement. We know Anakin was prophesied to become the father. We know who the daughter is going to be. Is Baylan going to be the son? But that's not all, my friends. A new world rumour, which has not been validated in any way, so it might just be BS, states that Season 2 is going to change the way we see Force ghosts. For years there have been debates about how Force spirits work. In the old expanded universe, it's a bit different to newer Disney canon. There's a certain time limit at the point of death if you want to preserve your consciousness. When Anakin died, Obi-Wan's spirit came to him and gave him very precise instructions. It's a bit more vague under Disney, and there have been lots of debates about interference. Can Force ghosts manipulate the physical world? There's always been some degree of ambiguity, but under Disney, there is none. The answer is yes, they can. And we know according to some leaks from the reshoots that Anakin Skywalker is going to wield a lightsaber in the present day. So on top of flashbacks, Anakin's Force spirit is going to have a few fight scenes. And the rumor, like I said, I don't necessarily believe it, but I did see it making the rounds, states that Anakin, as the new father of Mortis, might be temporarily brought back to life. He might be able to transcend the different realms to live both physically and spiritually. And if those rumors are true, it might not be a rewriting of canon as much as the rules of Peridea are different. It might be a Force conduit like Mortis, similar to the way that Qui-Gon was able to appear there. And while Force spirits have appeared in various different formats, the difference with Ahsoka Season 2 is that for the first time, if the theories are true, Dave Filoni is going to be the first to explicitly answer some of those questions. And if he does, I hope he got on the phone to George and asked him. Because if they do something with implications that ruin the current canon, I think Star Wars fans are going to be pretty pissed off by that. For example, as I said, if Anakin literally comes back to life, or one suggestion which I read about, if Ahsoka through the world between worlds is the person who went back to teach Qui-Gon how to become a Force ghost, thereby creating a really weird time loop where he then teaches Obi-Wan, who teaches Anakin. Again, this sounds very unrealistic. The world between worlds isn't literally time travel, but to this day, it's something which Dave Filoni himself has never fully addressed. We still don't fully understand lots of aspects of the mythology of Star Wars that he established. Mortis is another one. Is it the same as Peridea? Are they connected? Are they part of the same galaxy? How did the Mortis gods originally come about? And who were they before they were deities? Which was, by the way, something implied in the Clone Wars. So I think by default, whether it's Force spirits, different Force realms, Ahsoka Season 2 is about to do something very ambitious. The Chosen One is going to be central to all of this. And a couple of months ago, Rosario Dawson teased the exciting scenes between Anakin and Ahsoka, and how, quote, Ahsoka is getting back into her joy. So she's not going to be as stoic, she's happier, and quote, Ahsoka's moments with Anakin are going to be healing moments. They're a way for her to become more present. So Anakin is going to be to Ahsoka what Obi-Wan was to Luke, a Force mentor of sorts. Our next bit of Ahsoka news comes from our good friend Matt Rissman. He was recently at the Nashville Sci-Fi Fan and Collectors Convention, and one of the guests in attendance was Nelson Lee. This is the guy who plays Senator Xiono in Ahsoka, one of the most dislikable New Republic Council members who denies the existence of the Remnant, of Baylan and Shin, and doesn't believe in the return of Thrawn. And he's a character who originates in Star Wars Resistance. Well, the actor was asked the question, is he going to appear in Season 2? He doesn't confirm nor deny, but he does say that he's looking forward to it, and he's hoping that when it drops, everyone enjoys it. Considering there are rumours that Mon is back, Admiral Akbar is in this, I'd be very surprised if Xiono doesn't make some kind of appearance. I've always said this guy is the canon version of Borsk Failure. But with that said, my friends, those are the latest Star Wars tidbits. A few exciting updates for Ahsoka Season 2. Are you looking forward to it? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this one, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you always.